It's Friday, April 28th, and this is Pennsylvania Legacies, the podcast series from the Pennsylvania Environmental Council. I'm Josh Rawlerson. Well, there's lots of ways to celebrate Earth Day. You might attend a rally or a fundraiser, maybe take in a lecture, but there's really nothing quite as satisfying as actually getting your hands dirty, helping out with a project where you can see the result of your efforts at the end of the day.
That's just the goal. About 40 more.
That's how more than 300 northeastern Pennsylvanians spent Earth Day 2017, helping to plant thousands of trees on a pair of reclaimed mineland sites in 2 state forests.
Yep, that's give it a good tug, and it's good.
Well, we spoke with some of the volunteers and project leaders at the planting event at Pinchot State Forest in Luzerne County. We begin with John Udicek, who grew up in the area, still lives nearby, and today represents it in the Pennsylvania State Senate.
I'm thrilled to be here in my hometown, Plymouth Township, on top of the mountainside where I grew up and where I'm raising my kids. I live just over the hill, only a couple hundred feet from this site that once was one of the worst, open mines and mine pits in Pennsylvania. Certainly in eastern Pennsylvania, the Avondale Mine Pit, where I skipped rocks into the Avondale Mine Lagoon. And garbage and cars and everything else that you can imagine, and just a horrible sight. But that was my backyard. That's where I grew up, and that's where I played with my friends. And thankfully, nobody got hurt over the years. And I never thought I'd live to see the site reclaimed as it is today. To have it repaired, have the land reclaimed. DEP, DCNR, the Bureau of Forestry, our partners like Pennsylvania Environmental Council and the Earth Conservancy, all have done a tremendous job. To think of my father, who also lives right next to me here in Plymouth Township, who's a township supervisor, was a coal miner who's now lived to see the mine reclamation, who's lived to see this reclamation. And to think of my children, who have never seen the side of an anthracite mine or a deep pit, are going to grow up and they're going to see a vista of a beautiful state forest here in Plymouth Township. I'm thankful for all the kids that came out, the high school kids, the college kids, all from northeastern Pennsylvania, hundreds of kids that have planted close to 8,000 trees here today. It's very, very special to be a part of it. It's great to be out here on Earth Day. I wish everybody a happy Earth Day, and to be, this is all part, whether it's about the Susquehanna River Basin and cleaning up the Susquehanna River and cleaning up the Chesapeake Bay. This is all part of it. We're all connected. I mean, in cleaning up an abandoned mine site and planting trees are going to help not only Susquehanna River Basin, but it's also going to help the Chesapeake Bay. It's going to help Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia. This is important. It's important for a lesson for these students who are teaching us. The adage that we don't inherit the earth, we are here to leave it to our children. And so I think that's a very important message that we got to make on Earth Day. I've been on the Environmental and Energy Committee for 19 years now, 12 in the House and 7 in the Senate. In the Senate, I get to be the Democratic chair of the committee. And you feel the weight of that awesome responsibility. It's not just politics. It is about every Pennsylvania's constitutional right to clean air and clean water. It's their constitutional right in Pennsylvania, and that's why we do these kind of projects. That's why we partner with DEP, DCNR, and Pennsylvania Environmental Council and the Earth Conservancy to make sure that we are preserving that constitutional right to clean air and clean water for every Pennsylvanian.
My name is Scott Eggerud. I'm a forester with the Office of Surface Mine and Reclamation Enforcement as part of the Department of Interior, and I work for a group called the Appalachian Regional Reforestation Initiative, and our job is to improve mineland reforestation success. And this site right here is on the Pinchot State Forest, and this was a BAMR project, Bureau of Abandoned Mine Reclamation. This is an old mine site. They reclaimed it probably about 10-15 years ago, and since that time it was acquired by the Bureau of Forestry, and it was reclaimed basically to a grassland post-mine land use, and now we're trying to convert it into forest land. And a lot of compaction, a lot of competition from ground covers, so we took a large bulldozer in here and ripped up and down the slopes on an 8-foot spacing, and then ripped on contour on an 8-foot spacing, and now we're planting trees close to the intersection of those rips, which should result in about 680 trees per acre. So we're planting about 7,000 to 8,000 trees over this area. And Bureau of Forestry wants an early successional habitat out here. So we're planting quaking aspen, some white pine, actually 4,000 white pine, 3,000 quaking aspen, 480 chestnut oaks, 150 northern red oaks, and then we got some American chestnuts out here. And so we're just putting a real nice mix of early successional forest with a few later successional species out there to mimic the native forest. We work a lot with the active industry. We do rules, policy, training, research demonstrations, and the active industry is doing a pretty good job. But we also have these what we call legacy sites. Previously reclaimed mine sites where reforestation opportunities exist, and that's basically what we have here. And in Appalachia alone, we have about 1 million acres that have been converted from native hardwood forest to a grassland or a scrub shrub cover type. And these legacy plantings, we try to go back and basically restore the forest, patch the holes in the forest with plantings just like this. This right here, this was prior to 1977, okay, so this is what we call pre-law. This was before the passage of SMAC, or Surface Mine Control Reclamation Act. So there's a severance tax on surface coal and underground coal, and that goes into an AML fund. And the money in Pennsylvania goes to BAMR, that's Bureau of Abandoned Mine Reclamation, and they came in and they reclaimed this site. And we're working with BAMR to try to reduce compaction and try to reduce the ground covers and put trees back on these sites. We've got several planting projects, and on the large acreage we try to get grant money and then put professional planters out there. But some of these projects are basically pilot projects, and we try to recruit volunteers, and we use this for outreach and to create awareness to the situation. And that's what you have here, and you wonderful partnership, several different organizations out here working on this project.
I'm Amber Gohowski, and I'm from Nanticoke, Pennsylvania, and I came out because I wanted to plant some trees today. Growing up around here, it's pretty woodsy, so I was always with my father. He would take me out in the woods, and I could see a lot changing, especially with all the help from everybody. I think that we can see the bigger picture, that if we all put in a little work, we could do very big things.
So my name is Dr. Ken Klimo. I'm a professor of biology at Wilkes University in Wilkesboro, Pennsylvania. What we're doing is we're trying to heal the wounds of past damage that's been done by mining in the anthracite area here of northeastern Pennsylvania. And so specifically, what we're doing is we're trying to do a practice of planting trees in some of these reclamation sites where in the past they used to plant grasses and legume plants, and now we're trying this new process of planting trees, which should be a much more sustainable process, and it should be allowing for nature to really be taking over. The Wilkes program, we have a diverse program in the sciences. We're actually very strong in the sciences. We have an outstanding biology department. We have an outstanding pharmacy program. Our chemistry is very good, and math and computer science are very good as well. And so what we try to do is we try to educate students broadly, regardless of whether they want to be physicians or pharmacists or go into engineering, and to get them to realize the broad-based nature of their education, so that they can solve multiple problems once they become graduates of the institution. The way that Wilkes has been involved presently and in the past is that certainly we've been involved in mine reclamation issues. We've been involved in doing some wetland treatment for abandoned mine drainage. We have probably 25 years of involvement in doing research into mine reclamation. And so coal mining is one of the big things that we get into. Some of the other things that we get into are associated with natural gas development. Fracking is a big issue here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and so we've been looking at problems with water quality associated with fracking. And then right now I have a research team, which actually Amber is involved in. Amber's in the back there. And so a research team that we're going to be looking at vegetation development growing on natural gas pipelines, because it turns out that pipelines might be the biggest environmental issue facing Pennsylvania in the next 20 years. We love working with the Pennsylvania Environmental Council. PEC is a great organization, and we look forward to really promoting science because today is Earth Day 2017, and as we know, there are marches on science that are going on in Washington and going on really throughout the country. One of the things that we're really concerned about is the use of science in public discourse, and we're here standing for science. And so if I can show off my pride in being a scientist, we stand for science here at Wilkes.
Just a few of the voices from last weekend's Earth Day tree planting events hosted by PEC, the DCNR Bureau of Forestry, and several other partners in northeastern Pennsylvania last weekend. You can see videos and photos from both of those planting sites at pecpa.org. Past episodes of Pennsylvania Legacies are on the website as well. You can send us an email with your feedback and questions about the show. We'd love to hear from you at legacies@pecpa.org. By the way, you can subscribe in iTunes or listen on SoundCloud. If you do either way, please do us a favor and leave a rating for the show. Maybe if you have a few more minutes to spend, take the time to write up a review. It really helps. For the Pennsylvania Environmental Council, I'm Josh Rollerson. Hope your Earth Day was good. I'll see you next week.